The first time I met Natalie Silvera, I was trying to find someone I could talk to about domestic abuse and the experiences they've had with it as it relates to my theatrical skit Behind Closed Doors. It's one of those things where you wonder who has the willingness to share something so personal. And Natalie reached out to me wanting to talk. Our first meeting, she was very nervous about sharing and was still closed up about revealing her truth, not wanting to be on camera and asking me to disguise her voice. But once she realized I was genuine, not looking to exploit her in any way, she just opened up. A few weeks later, she invited me to her home so we could really talk about her experiences, and she told me it was the first time she really was sharing with the world what she'd gone through, but was ready to start that road of healing, and this was part of it. It was an honor to be a vehicle to give Natalie a voice, and I hope you'll appreciate what she has to say in this, our Real Inspiration podcast discussion.
Well, I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I was abused for many years. I can't even count, but not a good experience. Not something that's so easily spoken about in today's society, but it's getting better. The message is getting out. It's getting across the world, I guess you could say. A lot of women are not afraid anymore. We're not ashamed. We do have a story to tell. We have a story to share. And here I am.
For how long did you experience the abuse?
The domestic violence that I experienced was I would say for about 15 years of my life. Yeah. But the emotional abuse it's a lifetime. That started way before anything else.
Do you think they were connected?
Yes. Starting from when I was small, abuse started from when I was small. That wasn't really, that wasn't anything domestic. That was more sexual abuse. Being preyed on, by older males and stuff like that. So I think it started from then, and it affected me in such a way where, the emotional part of everything was damaged from day one. So it kind of led up into everything, and it had a lot to do with how you feel about yourself, how I felt about myself, and I never felt good about anything, and that's why I was so easily or readily comfortable in a situation where I was being abused. It's hard for somebody who doesn't understand to kind of grasp that, but I can further explain if need be. How do I put it now? I think it's because I was so used to the abuse that it became something normal for me. It became a normal part of my life. So I didn't see what other people on the outside could see, that a situation was wrong, like this was wrong. Not so much when the physical part of everything happened, but the emotional and the mental part of the abuse, and being brought into the culture that I was brought up into. It's not something that's so easily spoken about in our home, in a West Indian home. Let me say that then. Yeah. So I had a lot of secrets, and I hid a lot, and it took me years to even sit down and speak about it. To speak about the sexual abuse. I mean, the physical abuse didn't happen until later on into my adulthood, but the first part of the abuse happened when I was very, very small, and I think that has a lot to do with why I allowed myself to put myself into a situation that wasn't right for me, but it seemed comfortable at the time, and that has a lot to do with emotional and mental damage done by physical and sexual abuse.
So the individual you experienced a physical abuse with, how did that relationship start? Did it start off being physical right away that you were comfortable, and or did it?
No, actually, it didn't start off physical right away. It actually, it was actually very. It tricked me. Put it like that. It was very quiet, comfortable, very warm and becoming and a feeling of safety and security. And once I was settled into that situation, everything changed rapidly. It became a situation of control, anger, lots of frustration, but only to be only taken out on me all the time, and I couldn't figure out why.
Looking back, do you know why?
The only thing that I can think of as to why a person would do that to anybody else is, they have problems themselves. They've got deep rooted problems, issues that need to be addressed their own self. I do believe that.
You want to give example of maybe some of the experiences you had with the physical abuse, like a situation or occurrence that gives people a kind of a idea of what it looks like in a day-to-day?
In a day-to-day is, I'll tell you about my day-to-day. So my day-to-day routine back then was, you get up, you fix whatever for the kids, whatever, get everybody off to school, and you know to yourself that, he's still there. So my days were spent very quiet, and it's only because out of fear. I didn't really make a lot of noise or anything like that. He beat me to the point where if I wasn't being asked a question, then I'm not supposed to speak. A lot of jealousy on the other person's part, and it wasn't good. I never had a normal everyday life like how everybody else does. Even simple tasks like going to the grocery store was always a major event. I would be accused of flirting with the people in the grocery store, or being asked questions like, "Oh, why is the guy looking at me?" And this time I don't even know what guy he's talking about. Stuff like that. It was awful, to be honest with you. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all. I just didn't know how to get out. I didn't know what to do. I never believed in myself enough to get up and have that strength to say, what, this has to stop. I never loved me then, but I love me now. It's a good feeling.
Did anybody know about what you were going through?
Everybody knew. Everybody knew and did their best to try to protect me and shield me from it. I did a lot of running away from my own home, but they knew, and there was nothing they could do to stop what was going on. And that's because I think that had a lot to do with me. I wasn't saying to anybody, help me get out and stuff like that. I wasn't saying that. I was too afraid. I was too afraid to say stuff like that, or to even try to get up and make a move to say, let me save myself. I just stayed in it.
What did you think would happen if you, what's you really afraid of?
Oh, he told me lots of times he would kill me. I believed it. If I ever tried to leave him, he would kill me. He said it all the time. And the abuse from him, that's what it felt like too. Every blow, every hit he was doing at that time felt like I was dying. It felt like it was killing me. That's how it felt.
How did you eventually break free from the situation?
It was a bad summer, and I'd come to a revelation that I just couldn't keep doing what I was doing. It was breaking me mentally, physically, and spiritually. My kids were suffering, and I wanted to do something to change for them. I started to think about them. I wasn't thinking about them before. I was too scared. I was too scared to think about anything with rational reason. Yeah.
How do you think it, you mentioned your kids, how do you think it has affected them? Do you think it will continue to affect them, or do you?
It affected them It affected them a lot. It did. It bothers them. I know it bothers them. We talk about it. They're not so, they try not to get emotional, but I know it troubles them. I pray a lot for them. I pray a lot for them to just let things go. I want them to understand that I'm okay now. They see that I'm okay now. That's what makes them happy. But it did affect them. It did. Things haven't been so easy for them. I know things bother them and stuff like that, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay now that I'm okay. Because I wasn't okay before, and they were not okay. They were licking out. They were giving so much trouble because the first 7 of my children were boys. They were giving trouble on the road. They weren't listening to anything. No reason with nothing. They just want to give trouble, And I don't blame them. That's not their fault. I blame myself for that. Yeah.
Moving forward, is there a way for you to prevent this from happening again, you think? Or do you think you're ready to have relationships again now?
I'm okay. I still do have a barrier up. I'm very cautious of who I let around me, who I let in my area and my energy. Because I prize it that much now. But yeah, I can trust. I can love. I think so, yeah. I'm ready.
Okay, so what would you say to other people or other women who are, if you're in this situation right now, you're in a domestic abuse situation,
Mm-hmm.
This is what I say to you.
Okay. So for those who find themselves in a situation of domestic violence, domestic abuse, physical, mental, it doesn't matter. My advice to you is to, I know you don't feel strong right now, but try to reach in there because the strength is there. You can do it, And I think for your best interest, it's time for you to leave, because I can tell you from experience, it doesn't get any better. It only gets worse. Your life is worth more than that. Just, one day at a time now. And if you need to seek help, seek help. Don't be ashamed. I used to be ashamed. For me to sit here and talk about this now is, I was considered a miracle in my eyes, because I never thought I'd be able to do this, but I am. And it's a good message. And if you need to get help, get it now, before it's too late. Don't believe him, because the words, the sweet talking, all those things. Oh, I'm not going to do it again. Oh, I love you. Things will get better. It's all lies. And get out while you can. And there's lots of agencies and different programs and people that you can call and reach out to. And if you ever need to, I'm always available for anybody to come and talk to. I have a lot of information to share. Non-judgmental, by the way.
For anyone that has not been in Natalie's shoes, it's hard to imagine what kind of courage it would take to talk about this. For that reason, I see Natalie as one of the bravest people I know, because up to this day, to know how far she has come is really encouraging for my belief in humanity. With that, I thank Natalie again for talking to me, and I appreciate all of you who have taken the time to listen. You can support my work by going to www.akowa.com and buying my paperback or multimedia books. The book that features this story that the conversation was based on is in multimedia book number 1, and it's called Behind Closed Doors. Every purchase goes to support my youth program called Storytelling for Mental Health, which you can also learn more about on the website. I thank you again for listening, and until next time.